In this video, we're going to talk about buying our next home without selling our current home, and how do we get rid of the debt or the responsibilities from our lending side of things. How do we get rid of the payment on that home, and how does it not count against us anymore? So ultimately what we're looking at here is, can I rent my home out, and can that eliminate the debt that is that current home, so that I can go out and buy my next home and qualify for my next home? So I'm sitting here with Nick Pakulla. He is my recommended lender in the area, and hopefully you can answer that question.
Yeah, sure. I would say always, just with any loan, the goal is to simplify the process. So if you can qualify, then we don't need to worry about this. But if you're in that situation where you're trying to buy that next house and you're carrying your existing mortgage payment as well, and it's close from a qualification perspective, there used to be very strict guidelines regarding this. Until recently, they've been kind of alleviating some of these requirements. It used to be that you had to document 30% of equity, basically via an appraisal on your current home, so show that you have money in your current house. And then you also had to get a copy of a lease, first month's security deposit, first month's rent, all in your account.
Oh, I forgot it used to be first month's rent too.
Yeah, and then the bank could then count 75% of that lease. So let's say your place rents for $1,000 a month. On the lease, the bank could alleviate 75% of that liability, and to help you qualify for the next place. Nowadays, the guidelines have slowly been kind of coming back, and currently it's just a lease that you would need in order to alleviate that debt.
So no deposit, nothing like that.
Right.
Is there a certain starting time of that lease? Like, I mean, obviously I can't have a lease that starts next year. So
as far as I know, just off the top of my head, the guidelines aren't that specific.
Okay.
They just address if it's not on your tax returns, then 75% of lease. It's not.
Okay. And it's still 75%.
Right.
So that is a given. If I'm going to rent my home out, it's 75% of whatever the lease is. So if I'm renting it for $1,000 a month,
right,
I can say that $750 of that is being taken away from whatever the debt is.
Correct.
If my mortgage is $750 a month, my home doesn't show up anymore. It doesn't count against me.
Exactly.
But if it's $1,000, then there's $250 from my current monthly payment that counts against me as I want to move forward.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, cool. So as simple as just get a lease. Go find a tenant, get a lease.
Yep. Now, that in practice, I think, is a little bit more tricky just on timing. You're trying to write an offer, getting a lease. I mean, it's a little bit trickier from a timing perspective, but yes, that's the current.
key. Okay, cool. Doesn't sound too hard.